The next morning I told myself I would hand it in. There was a lost and found counter beside the ticket office. I knew exactly where it was. I remember touching my coat pocket and feeling the phone still there. In daylight, it felt heavier somehow. Not because it was important, because I had answered it. Morning came gray, rain on the street. A stranger's phone sleeping close to me. Blue cracked case, screen scratched thin. A piece of someone I should have handed in. Past the ticket gates, past the morning crowd, I walked to the counter, then I turned around. I did not have a good reason. That was the worst part. No plan, no excuse. Just a small hesitation that became a decision. I walked past once, then twice. Then I went to work. I said later, I said not now. I'll return it when the lights go down. But some mistakes stay warm in the pocket of your coat. Some silence starts feeling like a place you know. I should have let it ring, let the silence answer me. But at 11:17 I was holding someone else's memory. I should have walked away, left the phone where it had been. But before I knew the reason, I was listening again. At lunch, my own phone buzzed. I looked down and saw the word home on the screen. I watched it until the light faded, then it buzzed again. The same word appeared on the screen and I still did not answer. I turned the phone face down and told myself I would call back later. That was something I said often. Later. My own name waited behind a silent screen. 3 missed calls from home and one I should not keep. I knew what they would ask, I knew what they would say. Did you eat? Are you sleeping? Is everything okay? Easy little questions too heavy to receive, so I left them unanswered like they were not meant for me. I know how that sounds. It sounds cruel when you say it plainly, but not answering gets easy after a while. First, you miss one call because you are tired, then another because you do not want to explain. Then the silence becomes a wall. By evening, I was back at the station, not by accident. The lights came on, the rain came down. The last few trains dragged their shadows through town. Locker 23 waited by the wall. I told myself, return it. Then the phone began to call. I should have let it ring, let the silence answer me. But at 11:17 I was holding someone else's memory. I should have walked away, left the phone where it had been. But before I knew the reason, I was listening again. I answered on the 3rd ring. This time, I was ready to say it clearly. I found this phone. You have the wrong number. I'm sorry. But the voice came through first. You didn't call after you got back yesterday. I waited a little. I swallowed. I said, I think you have the wrong number. The voice went quiet. Then they said, you always say that when you don't want to talk. I stood by the locker with rain on my shoes. The truth was simple, but it would not move. People walked past me, ordinary lives. I held the wrong phone under the right light. Maybe they did not hear me. Maybe they heard what they needed. And they asked if I had eaten. Again. I said, not yet. Then eat something warm. Don't just drink coffee. I should have let it ring, let the silence answer me. But at 11:17 I was holding someone else's memory. I should have walked away, left the phone where it had been. But somewhere in my pocket, my own life called again. After the call ended, my own phone buzzed. The screen said, "Home." I let it ring. Before the screen went dark, I thought about answering. That was new.